Many of you might have grown up watching Cosmos on TV, and now the show host and renowned astrophysicist Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson is coming to the Memorial Auditorium tomorrow to give his talk on cosmic collisions. We were lucky enough to get to sit down with Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson beforehand. Here's News 12's Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek with his questions for the famed scientist.
Hello, is this the place?
This is the place. Yes.
Hello. I love the tie. Let me get my video mojo going here.
Well, thank you very much. I know you're quite busy for everything, and we have limited amount of time, so we'll go ahead and kick things into gear. What was it like to work with both Professor Sagan and with Andrew on your version of Cosmos, two of the most incredible people I understand when it comes to science communication? What was it like to just interview with them and work with them? I've just always been curious about that.
So my relationship with Carl Sagan, as captured by the press and in people's imagination, is vastly overstated. I was in his presence probably no more than 4, possibly 5 times in my life. And so the notion that he was a mentor is not accurate in the traditional way people use the word mentor. I'm still happy with that reference, but I have to modify how the word is used to say there's some people who can be a mentor by example. And if that example is visible and you resonate with it, then that person is basically a mentor. So I learned a lot with regard to the patience it requires to teach people who might otherwise be sort of recalcitrant in their ideas, how to explore metaphor, how to look for examples that people will more likely accept and resonate with than other examples that you might have been taught. So it invited me to be more creative about how I teach, and that influence is forever. Now, Ann Druyan, who I did work with directly, upon working with her, it became clear, I don't know that either of them would admit this, but it became clear to me that the heart that was in Sagan's writings came, if not entirely from, certainly mostly from Ann Druyan. She, though not a scientist herself, she feels the science and she feels civilization and humanity. And when you combine those two, the science and then what it is to feel the science, then you get the DNA of a cosmos. And that's why none of us think of Cosmos as a documentary, right? It is that, but that's not the taste it leaves in your mouth.
Looking forward with science, there's a lot of scientific agencies under attack. Pseudoscience seems to be on the rise around the world. And you've talked about how the problem is the adults who vote, not the kids. The kids can be inspired, the kids can learn, you can present more information to the kids. What information, what nugget of possible inspiration would you just be able to give to either kids or adults to be able to say, this is important, here's what you can do to help out going forward?
What I do know, and what I know historically works, is if someone believes things that are objectively false and they're resistant to having their views changed. By the way, there's always a spectrum of people. Some are on the fence and you can convince them, but deep in across the lines, I'm not entirely sure they can be convinced until the consequences of their belief system affect their health, their wealth, or their security. And then they wake up and say, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was lied to. Maybe the scientists were right. And like I say, this has been said before, but it bears repeating. Almost every disaster movie begins by people in charge ignoring the warnings of scientists. Just think about that. And so, sure, if you want to think we've never been to the moon, you can still hold down a job if that's the case. Not for NASA, but there are plenty of jobs for you if you think you've never been to the moon or you think Earth is flat. But if you are certain vaccines will kill more people than the disease, and then you refuse to get vaccinated for yourself and your family, that has consequences. And in some cases, lethal consequences.
One of the questions I got asked at my last school that I went to is, do you consider Pluto to still be a planet? It's like, well, Dr. Tyson, I have to check with him, but, technically, yes, but no. So
why isn't it a planet anymore?
Oh, you have to come to the talk.
Okay.
Sir, thank you very much. You've been very kind. Look forward to your talk coming here, and hopefully we bump into each other again down the road in person at some point.
All right, you got it. Thanks for your interest again.
As Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson says, if you want to find out why Pluto isn't a planet, come to his talk at the Memorial Auditorium at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. Tickets are still available online. Visit TivoliChattanooga.com to purchase tickets. For the full exclusive News 12 interview, head on over to our website at WDEF.com. We're in for a short break, but we'll be right back here on News 12 this morning.